everybody, this is Dr. Madiha Saeed, board certified integrative holistic family physician, coming to you live from my home. Yay! So anything, you can expect anything with these because somebody will just walk through the door and decide they want to be part of the show. So I am here to talk about, we have been talking a lot about on Thursdays, was the how your chronic symptoms can be due to an underlying root cause of inflammation. Deficits in your digestive health and detoxification, the 4 S's, stress, sleep, social, and spiritual health, can all lead to your chronic symptoms. Because if they are imbalanced, inflammation results and chronic disease. So we have been talking a lot about the gut and how your gut contains about 70 to 80% of your immune system. Along with, it also contains like, for example, it contains like trillions of bacteria that line your gut lining, right? And we need to keep that symbiotic relationship to keep everything working well. But if that relationship is off, things can go wrong, and that fire can result in your gut. So that fire can result in your gut, that can cause your chronic symptoms. So we have been talking about the gut RX, which is how are we going to reduce your chronic symptoms by putting out the fire in the gut. So we have been talking, so this is my book if you guys hadn't seen it, and this is amazing. I love this, obviously, because I put 4 years of really hard work into this with crazy kids and all, and family, right? But this is about 500 sources all into one source. And so we talked about, yeah, there we go, on page 35. Right? So here is the Gut RX. And if you buy the Kindle version, it'll be colored. I know, that's cooler, but they wouldn't let me do color in this book. But here, so we talked about first removing the gasoline. So you need to remove those foods in order to heal the gut. You need to first remove the foods that are caused, like, you know, for example, like act as gasoline. And those are, I get all grains out, dairy, sugar, processed foods, any food sensitivities that you may have specifically, toxins, infections, all of that. Then we want to focus on repairing the gut. And for repairing the gut, what we've done is to repair the gut, to replace. So we need to replace the gut with nutrients. Here we have nutrients. Like, so you want to take, you know, your vegetables, protein, and healthy fats, right? And then obviously if you have deficiencies in digestive problems, so like if you don't have enough acid that's going to properly digest, you want to make sure that there's a baking soda test in here that goes through to see if you have low acid. And then we have enzymes. So sometimes the people need digestive enzymes to really absorb and really digest the foods properly. So it's replacing those key nutrients that you need and those key factors of digestion that you need to help to lower this fire, right? Then we have is to repopulate. And this is what we're going to talk about today in a little bit more detail. So to repopulate, we're going to repopulate with prebiotics and probiotics. And you're like, what is that, right? What is prebiotics and what are probiotics? So even though nowadays it's a little bit more in the news, right, probiotics. So because we need to restore the balance of good bacteria in your gut. And in order to do that, we could do it 2 ways. So probiotics are good bugs, right? They contain good bugs. They're found in fermented foods. They're found in, like, for example, what are the fermented foods? That is like sauerkraut. And it's also found in yogurt and kefir. But we're going to, especially for this, a lot of people have sensitivities to dairy. So we're going to, that's not something that I involve, you know, off the bat. That's something that you can add in later on. But if you really want to heal, adding some sauerkraut to take those probiotics, then we have but the thing is, a lot of times what happens even with sauerkraut if you have an overgrowth of bad bugs in your gut, so also known as SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, that can cause problems. Like some people don't tolerate sauerkraut really well. So when they don't tolerate sauerkraut really well, what I do is I have them start with probiotics, which is a supplement. And you see them on TV, you see them all over the place. So there are multiple probiotics, and you can get them in like powdered form and capsules. And so what that does, and you want to make sure that you take the probiotic supplement with or after foods, as it binds to the food particles to make sure that it survives the stomach acid. So that is really key. Probiotics are really safe, and you want to make sure that they have, so what are you going to look for when you see a probiotic, right? When you look for a probiotic. So you want to make sure that first, just like it sort of exemplifies your gut microbiome, because in our gut microbiome, we have trillions of bacteria. So you want to make sure your probiotic has a diverse amount of bacteria. So and there's like lactobacillus and bifidobacter, and then there's soil bacteria. Soil bacteria, or also known as spore bacteria, that's also endospore probiotics, like Bacillus subtilis and Bacillus coagulans. So that is another key thing that you can add into your probiotic, because what soil bacteria do is that they can support the gut. They are actually really good to improve nutrient absorption, reduce inflammation, and also they also actually, what is really, really cool about them is that they can help improve the lactobacillus, like just increase them. Let's see what else we got going on here. Then we want to make sure that some other things that you can add, it's in my book, it's like bacteriophages and mushroom and Saccharomyces boulardii. Now, Saccharomyces boulardii are good yeasts. So I do recommend them for somebody who has, especially, Candida. They are the good yeast that can fight the bad yeast. So yay for that. We have, let's see. So there are sometimes specifically for your specific condition, because there's tons of strains. So if you have for your specific condition, you can go to that specific probiotics, because and then I have that in my book. So strength is slow and steady. Some people can't tolerate, like the higher strengths. Some people can't tolerate the higher strength. So what I like to do is start really small amounts, 1 to 2 billion, and see how you can tolerate, because some people can't even tolerate that. So start slow, go steady, and then as you start feeling better, then you can add on. Then we have is your duration. So how long are you going to be taking this for? It depends on, I love probiotics because of the fact they add really good bugs. So especially when you start having lower chronic symptoms, then you can do like the more natural sources, which are like the kefir and the like coconut kefir is also really good. We have is your sauerkraut. Love sauerkraut! And you want to just take this as long as your gut heals. Sometimes it's even like 6 months to even longer, depending on your condition. Okay? Prebiotics. Think of the prebiotics as food for your probiotics. Because like a probiotics got to eat too, right? So that is those food for your probiotics. Sometimes prebiotics come into supplement form, and that can cause a lot of gas. So I wouldn't recommend going that route. But like, for example, the ones that you want green, those are like, what are the prebiotics? So prebiotics are raw onions, garlic, carrots, asparagus, leeks, and then onions. So things like that are all prebiotics, right? So the prebiotics, the specific prebiotics, asparagus, We have leeks, raw onions, you know, yum yum garlic. Yay, prebiotics and probiotics. So you want to do that in conjunction. And then if you eat them with obviously green leafy vegetables and high fiber foods, that also helps to promote the green. And those are like asparagus and the carrots and the garlic, the leeks, the raw onions, the radishes, tomatoes, so things like that, right? So you want to make sure that you have your probiotics and your prebiotics on board to optimize that. But I wanted to warn you guys. Warning, warning, warning. So once you add in your probiotics and prebiotics, you can start to feel worse before you feel better. Why? Because of the fact that it's something called a die-off reaction. And that die-off reaction causes fatigue, digestive complaints, rashes even. I had one person come with like a rash down her abdomen, irritability. So your symptoms may worsen just a little bit before they get better. Again, that's called the die-off reaction. To manage that, you want to start really slow. So if you start feeling those symptoms, you want to cut back on your probiotics a little bit more. And when you cut back on your probiotics a little bit, you want to, again, watch for those symptoms until you feel better, and then you can slowly, gradually, that means your body can't tolerate it, you want to bring that down. Also to help die-off reaction, Epsom salt bath, seaweed, sodium bicarb baths can really help. You just want to put like half a cup in your bath water. That helps the detoxification, because because what happens when you add the probiotics in, they start fighting, it kills off like all the bad bacteria. With everything that you're doing, it kills off the bad bacteria. And when it kills off the bad bacteria, what happens is that they have to release their toxins. And when they release their toxins, it causes you to feel terrible. So I really want you guys to focus. Make sure you're doing your Epsom salt baths, because there's two ways they could detox. Either you go down through your poop or through your skin. So those are the two biggest ways to detox. So you really want, especially if you have a lot of constipation, Epsom salt baths are a great way to detox. So that was about repopulating. I know you guys will have lots of questions about probiotics and prebiotics. Go ahead and ask me any questions. And I'm always here for you guys. See you guys later. Bye.